Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and skip number 8 there. I'm going to go ahead and work on number 9. We're going to do synthetic division first. To start the synthetic division process, we're going to go ahead and place the -2, the constant that's in the binomial there. We're going to change the sign of it, okay? So this constant here, this -2, we're going to change the sign and put it in this box there. So -2 becomes +2, place it in the box. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our coefficients of this other polynomial we have and the constant along this right side here. So our first coefficient, our leading coefficient of this polynomial that we have here is what? It is 1. We have a 1 as our leading coefficient there, okay? So we go ahead and place the 1 right here. The second coefficient that we have is 1 again. So we place that 1 there. Okay. The third coefficient that we have is -4. So we're going to put that -4 on the next, as the next number in our line there. And the last thing, the constant, is -3. So we're going to place the -3 over there. After we have all our numbers written to the right side there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw a line. And this box, this little corner that we drew, and this line, it just helps keep things organized, okay? So the very first step here is we're going to bring the leading coefficient that we had, the 1, the first number that we have up there, down, okay? Down below our line. Multiply that 1 by the number that's in the box, so multiply 1 times 2 there. We get 2, and we place that number underneath the next number we have up on the top there. So we place the 2 underneath there. And then the operation we're going to do is we're going to add these two together. So we're going to add these things together, okay? So 1 plus 2, of course, is 3. So we place 3 underneath here. All right. And now we repeat what we just did before. We're going to take that 3 that we just got and multiply it by the 2 that's in the box. So 3 times 2 is 6, so we're going to place the 6 underneath the next number. Add the -4 plus 6, that becomes a +2. And then we repeat this whole step again. So we take the 2 that we just got times the 2 that's in the box. 2 times 2 is 4, and we place that 4 underneath the next number. Add the 2, -3 plus 4 is 1, so we have a remainder of 1. And we know from this that our leading coefficient is going to be 1. There's no doubt about that. But what is our variable going to be? What degree will it have? What power will it have? What exponent will it have? Well, our variable's n, and to get the power, we just take the leading term's degree and subtract from it the binomial's degree, which is 1. So we take that 3 minus the 1 there, that gives us 2. So we know the degree on this n, the first n that we have, is going to be 2. Okay, so that's how we get that there. So the degree on that n that we have is going to be 2. And you don't have to put 1 times n squared, so we can just take off 1 there in front. There is a 1 out there, though. And then we just go and write our numbers with the ascending powers of n. Okay, so we have plus 3 n to the first, or n, and then plus 2 into the 0, or it just isn't there. And then we have plus 1 over our divisor of n minus 2. Okay. So there's our final answer there. Let's go ahead and do the same problem now, but with long division. Alright, so doing long division on this, I'm going to go ahead and place my trinomial. Actually, I don't have a trinomial anymore, I have 4 terms. So I'm going to place that quadratic I have, that's my dividend, underneath there. So we have n cubed plus n squared minus n minus 3. I'm going to place that underneath there. I'm going to write my binomial to the right, so I have n minus 2, or sorry, to the left, n minus 2 over there is on the left side now. And then we're going to go ahead and divide. The very first step to dividing this is take and divide n cubed, the leading term on the dividend, by the leading term on the binomial we have. So we're going to take n cubed divided by n. So n cubed divided by n is just what? It's n squared, okay? Where do we put that n squared? Well, it goes in the n squared column, okay? And now, what we're going to do is we're going to take that n squared that we got and multiply it by our binomial that we have here, okay? And we place that result underneath these first two terms here, okay? So n squared times n would be n cubed, okay? N squared times a negative 2 would be negative 2n squared, okay? And then the operation that we're going to do this is we're going to subtract these things from the top 2. Now, the easier thing to do though is to distribute the negative and change the sign. So we have minus 3n plus 2n squared, and then we can just add instead of subtracting, okay? So n cubed plus a negative n cubed would be 0. N squared plus 2n would be 3n squared, right? So we have 3n squared there. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring down my next term. So I bring down minus 4n. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process now. This time using 3n squared. I'm going to divide it by, once again, the n. Okay? So I take the 3n squared, divide it by n, and of course that gives me 3n. Okay? So I know my next term that I need to place up here is 3n. And I repeat the whole process, so I multiply it by this binomial here, and the result goes underneath these two numbers that I have. Okay? So I'm going to put the result underneath these two numbers here. When I multiply the 3n times the binomial, 3n times n gives me 3n squared. 3n times a negative 2 would be negative 6n. And then, of course, I subtract here. Now, I'm just going to distribute the negative and add. It's just easier. So distributing the negative and adding, we have minus and plus there. Okay. And go ahead and add 3n squared plus negative 3n squared would be 0. Negative 4n plus 6n would be positive 2n. Positive 2n. And then I bring down the next term. So I repeat the whole process again until I'm all out of terms, basically. So I repeat this whole thing I'm doing over and over again until I'm all out of terms to bring down. So we continue. We divide that leading term 2n by the n here. So 2n divided by n, that would be just 2. Okay. Alright, so I have plus 2 up there. I once again multiply that by that whole binomial there, and the result goes underneath here. Okay. So 2 times n would give me 2n, right? And then the 2 up there at the top times the negative 2 in the binomial gives me negative 4. I then go ahead and, of course, subtract. Once again, it's easier just to distribute the negative and add. So if I distribute the negative in the parentheses, I have minus and then plus. So 2n, I'm going to add now, instead of subtract, 2n plus a negative 2n would be 0. Negative 3 plus 4 would be 1. So I have a remainder of 1. And now I'm going to go ahead and write out my answer here. So I have n squared plus 3n, and then plus 2, and the remainder is 1, so it's plus 1 over my divisor of n minus 2. Is that the same thing that we got before? It sure is. So we know we've done everything correct. And we're good. Any questions, please email me.